Steve Miani here doing the junkyard crawl. It's cars like this 1984 Chevy Citation that make me absolutely appreciate today's mid-engine Corvette, the Gen 6 Camaro, things like the Dodge Challenger Demon, a 9-second factory car. Well, back in 1980 through 1985, Chevy Citations like this were all over the roads. And I was 20 years old in 1984, and I remember thinking that the world had come to an end when General Motors went to front-wheel drive. And this is Chevrolet's and General Motors' first front-wheel drive platform in a mass production setting. This was known as the X body, and these things sold like mad. The crazy thing is, early on, the Citation was called the Condor until the very last minute when they changed the name from Condor to Citation. We called them something else, Citation, if you know what I'm trying to say. But with that said, these were the right car at the time. Under the hood, okay, this one has the optional V6. Now this is the 2.8 liter engine, 135 cubic inches, and the only alternate would have been the 2.5 liter inline four. But notice how it's transverse mounted, and this one has the 2 Venturi electronic carburetor. And again, that's a Chevy V6, but again, it's a weird one. It's a 60-degree narrow V versus the 90-degree of more typical V8s, big block, small block. But again, this is the 60-degree V6 engine family. Now, there was a performance version of this thing called the Citation X11 with the HO660 and a cowl induction fiberglass hood. Yeah, they made those. But this is a pretty typical family version of the Citation. And again, McPherson struts up front. The whole front of this thing, you can cut this thing off at the windshield forward and it'll run. Again, this is a crab crawler, as I call them. It's a front-wheel drive. No rear-wheel drive going on here. And one thing about the Citation is that these things have a beam rear axle, not even independent rear suspension, a beam axle. The later Cavaliers of about 1984 up would finally go to independent rear suspension. Now, one thing too is the Chevette, or the Citation beat Chrysler's K-Car front-wheel drive to the market by over a year. So a lot of folks think Chrysler was first with front-wheel drive. No, Citation came first, 1980, a full year before the K-Cars arrived at Chrysler in 1981. Okay, inside, here we have the typical bench, with sort of a split bench with buckets. Speedometer 85 miles per hour. Yeah, that was a national law, 85 mile an hour speedometer. And again, column shifted automatic. You could get a 4-speed, the Getrag 4-speed. I believe there was even maybe a 5-speed in the X11. But again, this one is a 4-door with a hatchback, which at the time, the hatchback was the big thing. And again, here's it. I mean, it's a big car inside. I have to say, as a transportation module, they were okay. They did the job, but they were boring. This is a 1983 Chevy Citation dealer brochure right here. And you can see right here, this is what you go into the dealership and how shiny and how pretty. And on the back is all the specifications and stuff like that. Inside, USA 1, taking charge. How dark, what depressing times they were. You can see right here, Citation, Camaro, Caprice, Impala, Cavalier, Celebrity, Chevette. Yes, Chevettes, Corvette, Malibu, Monte Carlo. That was the Chevrolet lineup. And back when Chevy made passenger cars, that's gone. Here's the inside of the Citation right there. And it does indeed sit 5 people pretty comfortably. You might even squeeze 6 in there. But here's the front drive unit right here. Everything's all bolted together, the hydromatic transverse deal. And let's see if this thing gets into the X11. And again, here's a 2-tone right there. And again, these things were all over the place. Chevrolet sold millions of these cars in the 5-year production run. And the one thing I remember is going down the road, if there's a Citation in front of you, you always looked and you saw this weird beam axle underneath it. It was like a weird L-shaped piece of scrap iron that it wasn't sexy, but it did the job. Yeah, there it is. That's the X11, that silver car right there. Now, believe it or not, I dare say that if you found one of these things in really good condition, a clean one with no damage or modifications, you might have yourself a $10,000 or $15,000 car. I get that, but it has to be pure, absolutely unmodified. You know, they're coming around, but here, look at this, the stripper. Look at that little puppy right there. That is the 2-door sedan. No hatchback there. We can see the trunk on that one opens. That's a stripper. That's the kind of thing you would have found at like a Hertz rental car or something like that. But again, the Citation, also known as the or you fill in the blank on that one. But here it is, man. So whenever I see modern Chevrolets, even, you know, the Gen 4 Camaro, Gen 5, Gen 6 Camaro with, you know, 426 horsepower from the SS when it came out in 2010, back in 1982 or so, I never thought we'd ever see anything cool ever again, because cars like this were what you saw everywhere on the road. So the next time you see a modern car, anything, an LS powered anything, an LS kiss the ground around it. The LSs might be common today, but who cares? Compared to this kind of stuff, I'll take an LS in everything. And in fact, LSs do go into everything from BMWs to Porsches. But I'd like to maybe put an LS motor in the back of a Citation, maybe two of them, put one in the front and one in the back. That'd be kind of fun. But anyway, here it is. Hope I didn't give you too many bad flashbacks with this Citation memory, or maybe some good flashbacks. I mean, frankly, I had a college roommate, Johnny Greenbaum, who had one of these things in white, just like this, and used to let me borrow it on the weekends to go see my girlfriend. So, you know, Citation has its place, but is this going to be collectible? I don't think so. But an X11? Maybe. That would be the Z28 of the Citation world. But anyway, that's the story on the Chevy Citation. Love it or leave it. If you like this video, be sure to subscribe to the Steve Manianti YouTube channel. Keep those citations citationing.